Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. Jordan and Keith keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know.
Jordan and Keith.
From pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to the GSMC Music Review Podcast with Captain Keith, Lieutenant Mariano. Jordan is out for the day, but he will be back very soon, so stay tuned. Now, today, we've got a couple albums for you. The first being Fantasia's The Definition Of, as well as the triumphant return of the Monkees with Good Times. So I think we'll start with Fantasia. How did you feel about the album?
Oh, yeah. So, first of all, happy Friday.
Oh, yeah, happy Friday.
Fantasia, yeah. American Idol, icon Fantasia, winner, of course. Her new album, how do I feel? I like it.
I like it.
The definition of. Yeah, I think it's a cool record. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, different, kind of diverse. She did some range here. She went from country to gospel on here. And
she also had
R&B.
some of that kind of bluesy, catty type music.
Yes. Yes. Well, the first track, bro, crazy.
Yeah.
You got to be crazy if you want to be with me. I love that honesty. I love how she owned it and called it out. So, yeah, I was digging that track. And that was a great first track.
Like every one of my girlfriends ever.
Right? So, yeah, it's a nice record. It's her first album in about 6 years. So, yeah, so she's doing her thing. Yeah, I like it a lot. So my favorite tracks are Crazy. I like So Blue. Sleeping with the One I Love, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like the sound of that one. That was very 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes. And, not the one she's with, but the one she loves. So, and Stay Up was really funky, featuring Stacey Barth. I like that track a lot. That's probably the funkiest track on the album for me. Ugly's a nice country song that I liked. And yeah, and then I Made It's a cool song. That's the last track featuring Ty Tribbett. I like that track too. I think it's cool. Although I wanted it to be a little bit more, you can do gospel and still be funky.
Right.
So I wanted it to be funkier than what it was. And I felt like Roller Coasters, and I love Aloe Black. He's one of my favorite singers, new singers. He can do R&B, he can do country. He's great. But I felt like that collaboration should have been better than what it was. Roller Coasters. I mean, he's kind of singing and he's kind of rapping on the track, and I just felt like I could have got a better collaboration out of him on that track than what I got. So
Okay.
But otherwise, I do like the record. I think it's cool. I see there's definitely a pop feel to it. I mean, she gave you a nice little mixed pot of everything, and that was cool. I guess the only thing I would complain is Stay Up to me was the funkiest R&B track on the record for me, and I really like that a lot. And Sleeping with the One I Love, like I said, it's kind of catty, but it had that R&B bluesy kind of feel to it. It was that was another strong one for me. But yeah, I felt like this album could have been just a little bit more funkier than what it was. But otherwise, I did enjoy it. So,
you know what? I liked it. I'm not really too much. I think it was just the right amount of funky for me because I don't get too funky with music. But that
was funny. I don't get too funky with music.
I don't like to get too funky with music.
Right.
But this one I liked a lot. It was her 5th album, by the way, and she had kind of this wide appeal about it. I heard, I liked a lot of different songs because I like a lot of different types of music, and I thought, ooh, that's a really good this kind of music song, and that's a really good this kind of music song.
Yeah, she made a good pop record.
Right?
She did.
And it's pretty diverse, too. I like that.
Yes.
I like that first track, Sleeping with the One I Love. I like that kind of slow, almost weekendy sound, but except the Weeknd's getting a little played, and I'm glad to hear something different.
But it kind of had a 60s feel to it.
That's what I meant.
Almost like a James Bond-y kind of Shirley Bassey kind of film.
Almost like a
feel.
Do you remember the movie Life?
Yeah.
Before it all goes downhill.
Yes.
The kind of bar scene that that's what it reminds me of.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. But and you can feel the realness in that in her voice on the track.
Yeah.
You know, she was singing from the heart on that.
she I don't know, she just does a good job, as in she made an album that in my opinion was kind of the album she was like meant to make.
Okay.
It just fit. Do you know what I mean?
Really? All right.
And I liked it.
Yeah, I think a complaint might be that we don't have enough records from Fantasia at this point.
Yeah, I
She's
mean,
been
five
busy,
is an okay number.
Yeah, she's
but
been
I
busy.
guess for 6 years, it's a good album. Maybe she'll keep going. You know,
She should. We definitely want to encourage that.
I wonder. I think if they do more 50 Shades of Grey movies, they should reach out to her to make a song.
That track actually would be perfect for it.
Right?
Sleeping with the One I Love. Yeah, now that you mention it. And Stay Up. Oh, those would be perfect songs.
Yeah, they should reach out to her. She has that. She has that sound, and she has that lyrical content that would just go well with it, which could open up.
Mariano.
You know,
Good call.
which could open up her fan base a little more too, because people like that movie.
Yeah, although that movie didn't do that well, but
Okay, well,
but I know what you mean though.
okay,
They love the books.
Yeah, well, 30-year-old women like that movie, so that you know,
Yeah.
I can see this getting her some sort of notoriety, and maybe that would push her to make another album, or at least go on tour.
There's no reason for this record not to be successful if
Yeah.
promoted properly, because it has all the ingredients you need for a good pop record. So her time on American Idol served her very well.
Yeah, and some American Idol winners are like really bland. She's not.
I agree.
She has a good sound.
Yeah, well, she has a great voice, and but I felt like I still wanted a little bit more. I liked the album. I didn't love it, but I like it, and I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I wanted a little bit more.
Her, Adam Lambert, and is it Demi Lovato that won American Idol?
I don't know, man. I
They're-
don't know all the winners.
I don't know.
I just
all the
remember
winners,
Kelly
but-
Clarkson, Ruben Studdard, and her.
I don't know all the winners, but those three were the only ones whose albums I liked.
Yeah, see, I liked Ruben's first album.
Okay.
So, and Kelly, I started liking Kelly after her first album. I think, like, Since You've Been Gone, that's when I started digging her.
Yeah, that was good
That
too.
was my track. Yeah, that's my tune.
But there were a lot of people, you know, like Chris Allen, they were just bland. Like, they have great singing voices, but these people, like I think Fantasia is proving to be a good musician
right
on top of singer.
Right, and what people need to realize is that you can have a great voice, but if the songs aren't written properly for you,
Right.
or executed and produced properly, it could all just fall apart.
Exactly.
Or it can get to a point too where you're a great singer, but then all your stuff sounds the same.
Exactly.
You know.
Yep.
So because you don't have a good producer, you don't have someone pushing you and challenging you and giving you a new sound to conquer.
Of course. I mean, the way I put it is, how many great singers do you personally know, like in real life? Because I know a lot. You know.
Do I personally know?
Yeah.
I don't know any.
No.
Personally.
I know a ton. Well, maybe because I'm from LA, but now how many great musicians do I know? Probably none. You know, like it. There's
Yeah,
more,
I know some of those.
Yeah.
I know more music. Yeah, I know some great musicians. But,
you know, but they're different. Like Michael Jackson was a good singer, but a great musician.
Well, see, for me, he was a great entertainer and not a musician. To me, Prince was a great musician.
Prince was
and Michael Jackson was I feel like Prince was a better musician than entertainer, and Michael Jackson was a better entertainer than musician.
He was a better entertainer, but his music was good. Like I really
But
like.
Michael didn't write all of his stuff, man. He wrote some of Thriller. He didn't write all of Thriller, dude. Not at all.
One of my favorite songs, I'm pretty sure he wrote though, Billie Jean.
I have to go back and take a look.
Okay.
I can't remember offhand right now. But yeah, I mean, of course, that's a classic album now. So, but yeah, I mean, but I see what you're saying. Michael Jackson was a great singer.
But I'm trying to
and
separate
Fantasia's in that realm, huh?
I'm trying to separate. I don't think he was a great singer. He was a good singer. In fact, he's probably a very good singer. But he was a great, like, you know, you can be one without the other. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. Like I said, and for me, when they call him the King of Pop, it's because of the entertainment status of it. He was a phenomenal entertainer. So, and you look at Fantasia, she's a great vocalist. She's a great singer. Great entertainer, because she's doing musicals. She's done The Color Purple, you know? So she puts the work in. So she's got that all around package. So
I like the album art too.
yeah, the album artwork is nice. Yeah, the cover art and the back.
You guys can't tell, but he's giving me the okay sign because it was a really cool album art.
Right?
Exactly.
But yeah, so yeah, I definitely, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this album, I'm going to give it an 8.
going to give it an 8 too.
Definitely. Yeah, I like it. I definitely recommend it. If you are a Fantasia fan, check it out. She's cool.
Yeah, if you're not, you will be.
Yeah,
Check it out.
definitely. Some of the stuff to me is funny. Like I said, just the opening track had me cracking up. She's like, I'm crazy. If you want to be with me, you got to be crazy.
I just liked it because
I love it. It was
almost
honest and real.
It was almost like retro refreshing for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, when I was listening to the production, I'm like, okay, so this is put together very well so radio can just promote it and put it out there. And there's no reason for this album not to be successful if promoted properly, because there's something for everybody, literally.
You know, one of the producers on this was R. Kelly.
Yes, that's Sleeping with the One I Love. He wrote that song for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. The Kells. He came through on that one. And when we get back, we will talk about the new Monkees record, Good Times, after this break. So stay tuned. Stick around. Mariano and Keith in your town.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And we are back.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
What we've got for you guys is, I think, a really special album. I had no idea. This is the Monkees.
Yes.
Good Times.
Yes.
This is their 12th album and their first album in
20 years.
20 years to commemorate their 50th anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah. So the original boy band, yes, the Monkees. Before there was New Edition, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, there were the Monkees. Yeah, they were the Prefab Five or Prefab Four. You know, they were supposed to be like the American version of the Beatles. They were created, that's true, yes, 2 musicians and 2 entertainers, and they became so much more than that.
Yeah, but it fits, though.
Oh, yeah, and they were one of the few groups that actually outselled the Beatles at different times with their records.
That's insane sounding, isn't it?
Yeah.
How cool would that be, like, on a resume?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a Monkey Mania, man. I mean, there's TV shows on for 2 seasons, and you know, I'll give you a little fun fact. Davy Jones, who died several years back, rest in peace. Mm-hmm. David Bowie's birth name is David Jones, and because Davy Jones and the Monkees was so popular, he changed his stage name to Bowie.
Oh.
And the rest is history. He became a rock and roll legend in his own right. So, icon and a genius, of course.
Rest in peace to him, too, by the way.
Exactly. So, but yeah, so that's a little fun fact about that, the whole situation. That's how popular the Monkees were. I mean, Davy Jones used to have to like dress up like a girl just so the girls wouldn't nab him when he went outside sometimes. Yeah. Kind of crazy.
Oh,
man.
no, poor thing.
I know, right? Yeah. But this album, Good Times, yeah, first album in 20 years. And it's got tracks written by people like Rivers Cuomo from Weezer, Ben Gibbard from Death Cab from Cutie, Noel Gallagher from Oasis, Paul Weller from The Jam and Style Council.
And Neil Diamond.
Yeah, Neil Diamond, Andy Partridge from Ecstasy, yeah, and producer Adam Schlesinger, who's also from Fountains of Wayne. You know, that hit song Stacy's Mom's Got It Going On.
Yep, I was looking at that just now.
Yeah, so you know, so the fellas went a different route with this album, and there's also, of course, tracks from Harry Nilsson, Carole King. These are people who wrote for the Monkees in the past. Neil Diamond wrote for the Monkees in the past. I'm a Believer is a Neil Diamond song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you know, yeah, so so this album, where do I begin? One of the reasons why I wanted to review it, because I felt like a lot of people probably didn't know that the album came out. It's a great record. this album, is the successor to their album Just Us, which is
1996.
Yes, where everybody was still alive and they were playing all the instruments on that album. Critics didn't care for that album. I love that record, so I don't know what that was about. This album is better, and that album was good. This album is better in a sense. I mean, I like that they got together with some new younger writers and some of their old school writer friends. They all merged together for this record. It's great. I mean,
and if you had to go for younger writers, I mean, they
picked some great ones.
Yeah.
Me and Magdalena is probably one of my favorite songs, and that's written by Ben Gibbard from Death Cat per Cutie, who's also from the Postal Service. That's his side project as well. He's a great modern writer of the 21st century.
Man, Rivers Cuomo.
Yeah, from Weezer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, and then getting Noel Gallagher from Oasis and Paul Weller.
I know.
That's The Accidental Birth of a Hipster. That's a great song,
I know.
too.
When I heard that one, I was like, what is he saying?
Yeah, that's a great song, too. And I know what I know. I like that track that Michael Nesmith wrote from the Monkees. Yeah, this is a good album. It's fun. Like you said to me in passing before the podcast,
it's a Beach Boysy.
Some of it, yeah. Like She Makes Me Laugh, where you bring the summer.
Yeah.
It has that kind of feel to it. But I mean, it still has that pop appeal that the Monkees has, a pop rock group, but then it goes deeper when you keep on listening. Little Girl's a great song that Peter Tork sings. And then the track Love to Love. They brought Davy Jones, even though Davy Jones is gone. They found a track to bring onto this record, and it sounds great, and it makes you miss him when you hear it, actually.
And I was reading up just now, they didn't want to release it earlier, but they decided to put it out with this one.
What, Love to Love?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they did, because it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, this is a good album. I mean, it's fun, and it's like a summer record, actually.
You know what it is? That's what I meant. It has that kind of lighthearted, like, let's have fun feel to it.
Yeah.
But it also, like, almost holding the CD right now in my hands makes me feel like I'm holding a bigger piece of history right now than I ever anticipated.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were peers of the Stones and the Beatles. I mean, when they started to outsell, the Beatles and other groups, there are people who hated on them, like, oh, they don't play their own instruments. Well, that wasn't necessarily the case. Yeah. They had a situation where, when they got together, they were told, here's your music, all you got to do is sing it. And Michael Nesmith from the Monkees was the only musician who was allowed to write a song on every album. That was part of his deal. And he's the one who fought for them to get more creative control, which happened eventually. But can you imagine being told, here's your songs, sing them, and
them still be good? I don't know. Yeah.
Exactly, because if they stunk as singers, this wouldn't have went nowhere.
Exactly.
So it was still
I think people have that like NSYNC effect where you go out and ask around and you can't find one NSYNC fan, yet you can search last year's record sales and they're still selling them, so they're fans somewhere.
Exactly.
They're hiding.
Exactly. So, but understand, the Monkees were people who helped people's careers, like Neil Diamond and Carole King. Mm-hmm. Because they wrote songs for them. Glenn Campbell wrote songs for the Monkees. So it's really interesting when you see all the people who wrote for them and what happened with those songs and those people. But yeah, they always fought for creative control. And by the time they got it, they became a real band because it was interesting. So they were told, okay, sing these songs. All right. And no creative control except for one of you. And then they were told, okay, these songs are blowing up now. Now you got to learn how to play them.
Right.
So then they learned how to play all the songs that someone else wrote for them as a 4-piece. Mm-hmm. And then they were still told, no, you can't make your own album yet. So that was frustrating. Then they went on tour. They got Jimi Hendrix to open up for them. Didn't go too well because there's two different types of crowds.
Jimi Hendrix, I think I've heard of that guy.
Right.
He played guitar, right?
Just a little bit. Okay. Just a little bit.
Right.
So then it gets interesting because finally they get a chance to make their own record their way, and it's called Headquarters. Great album. And it was number 2 in America until the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts came out. And then it got bumped to number 2. It was number 1 in America until Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts came out. Then it got bumped to number 2.
Even to be number 2,
To the Beatles. It's not shabby at all, right? And when they went to England, the Beatles threw them a party. So, like I said, there's history here. But yeah, this is a good record. I like it a lot.
This one hit 14.
Number 4 on the chart?
In America.
Excellent. Yeah. That's a big deal.
That is a big
deal.
deal.
For guys who are basically senior citizens.
And not
Still got
basically,
it. They are. Yeah. Still got it. So that shows you the universal appeal.
these guys should be drinking like Metamucil. But but 14 these days, when hip hop is kind of dominating the mainstream,
Exactly.
14 is actually really big.
So, and if you go to a concert, you're going to see older people and younger people together. So, remember Shrek and the I'm a Believer?
Oh, yeah. Then I saw her face.
They got that from the Monkees.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, man. So that's where that's from. But yeah, it's a good album. I was delightfully surprised with the people who wrote and contributed songs for them. So there's people who contribute songs for them, and it's a mixture that works for them, where they get people to contribute for them and they write their own songs as well.
Yeah, but works well. They get the right people, because I wonder how many people would love to write a song for the Monkees.
Well, you're gonna get more now because of this album, probably.
Right?
Yeah.
And they chose the best.
Yeah, they did. I agree. I'm glad you liked it. I wasn't sure if you're gonna like it or not.
You know what? I actually really enjoyed it, and then the more you kind of told me about it, I was like, oh, really? I didn't know that it went that deep, but it makes sense to me because it...
the original boy band.
Yeah, it makes sense because they totally... It's almost as if, to me, that stigma where, like, you see an old actor in, like, a reboot of a movie where he used to be the star of that old movie. Yeah. And you're like, okay, well, I can see why he's who he is, because he has that, whatever it is that it is, he has it.
Yeah, and you see the haters have been around for decades.
Oh, yeah.
Haters have been here since the beginning of time.
Well, haters,
Yeah, we just started calling them haters probably about 20, 30 years ago, maybe. But they had suffered from the haters, but it doesn't matter now, so they're still here standing. A great catalog. But hey, more about both of these records after this break.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be, visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for listening to the GSMC Music Review Podcast, which you can tell by this very catchy little tune that we're playing here. I'm Lieutenant Mariano. That guy laughing is Captain Keith.
Yes.
Now, Corporal Jordan is lost somewhere in the trenches, but we'll find him soon. He's a little MIA.
Exactly.
Not to worry, he can take care of himself.
Exactly.
It's been rumored that he... You know what? Can't say. Now, we just finished reviewing two really good albums. The Monkees, Good Times, which is their first album in 20 years to celebrate the 50th anniversary, and it's their 12th studio album, as well as Fantasia, The Definition Of, which is also really good.
Yes.
Now, this is her 5th studio album, and it was her first one in 6 years?
Yeah.
Nice. So let's start our wrap-up here. I think we're going to go with Fantasia first.
Yes.
Now, I remember me and you giving solid reviews. What was it, 7.5?
I thought we said 8.
Oh, we said 8.
Yes.
Yep, okay, we said 8s across the board. Okay.
Yes. Definitely. So, yeah, we definitely liked the record. I felt like it could have been a little bit more funkier, but I still enjoyed it. I felt like because it wasn't, it made it a perfect pop record.
Exactly.
So, which I think maybe that's what you're looking for. She's American Idol, alumni, winner. So, like I said, her time on that stage served her well.
I think that as far as American Idol winners go, she is one of the more musically gifted.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
no
with you
doubt.
on that. Yeah. Kelly Clarkson, Ruben Studdard, Fantasia. The 3 right there. Very strong in my eyes from American Idol.
I think Adam Labyrinth's in there somewhere, too.
Yeah, he's a great singer, too, actually.
I like him, too.
Yeah. So, no disrespect. There's other people. Carrie Underwood did her thing, too. So, The winners are the winners for a reason, so I get it. But yeah, Fantasia, good album. Definitely recommend it. Check it out. Pick it up. She has some fun with it. Like I said, she goes from country to gospel to R&B and soul to some blues. Yep. She's hitting it all.
And as a result, we had fun with it. It's a good album.
Yeah, it is, definitely. And so where are we? Oh, the Monkees. Did we rate the Monkees record yet?
I don't think so.
No, we didn't, did we?
No, we didn't.
Having so much fun over here.
I know.
Right. So, Good Times. What do you rate it? I don't want to scale of 1 to 10.
I'm going to have to rate this. Let me just kind of think of it for a second. I'm going to go ahead and rate this one like an 8.5. Let's go with an 8.5.
I'm going to go with the 8 too. I'm going to go to 8. You're 8.5. I'm going to go with the 8.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's still a very strong rating. Because I definitely recommend the album. Was every song perfect? No. But was it a great album? Yes. Definitely. Yeah, one of my favorites from them. It's a nice return to form. It's a shame when guys in their 70s, 20 years later, can make a great pop rock album or a good rock and roll album that people half their age aren't even doing.
Is it? It's a little comforting.
It's kind of sad, man.
It's kind of comforting at the same time,
I agree.
That they can be like, here, let me show you how we used to do it back in the day.
Right?
Because
sometimes you need that old school.
Yeah.
Sometimes the old school.
Old school killed it this time. I like this one.
Yeah, they did. I'm glad. Yeah, and they got help from some new school people.
In fact, now that I think about it, I do need to go back and listen to some more older Monkees.
Yeah. I recommend.
But of music of this form or format, I think this is one of the more solid albums I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah, man. Definitely. I recommend checking out Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Jones, Headquarters, the Head soundtrack, and the Monkees Present. Those are all good records.
Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Jones. I like
Limited,
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they did their thing. So, yeah, they were the original boy band, like we said, and they became much more than that. They actually became a band and a great one, and that's when they broke up. And then that's what, and the plot just thickens from there, and
Yoko.
But the legacy lives on. Stop it.
She's at it again.
No. She gets a bum rap. That wasn't her fault. Not at all. That's another conversation. So no. That's a misnomer. And we'll leave Miss Ono alone. She gets a raw deal. Yeah, So that's a whole other Fab Four to talk about, or the original Fab Four. Yeah.
Okay.
But so Good Times, definitely recommend it. We definitely recommend Fantasia's record too. So you have a great pop R&B album from Fantasia, The Definition of, and you have a great album from pop rock icons, the Monkees, with Good Times. So yeah, if you're looking to do something different, looking to change it up, definitely recommend getting both of these records. So you won't be disappointed at all. So yeah, definitely. And my favorite tracks on the Monkees record is Good Times featuring Harry Nilsson, Me and Magdalena. That's and that one has Michael Nesmith singing. Good Times is Mickey Dolenz. Love to Love, the Davy Jones track. I love that a lot. Little Girl from Peter Tork. Birth of an Accidental Hipster. Yes, for you Oasis fans, you Paul Weller fans, they wrote that song for this record. And I like that a lot. It's a cool track. And I love Michael Nesmith's I Know What I Know. That's a good song, too. And I was there, and I'm told I had a good time. That's a fun track with Mickey Dolenz on drums. So, yeah, and then the deluxe version of this record has bonus tracks, Terrifying and Me and Magdalena version 2. So, yeah, just for you fans out there, you can pick that up. But that's available like on iTunes. But yeah, so yeah, good record. Yeah, and Andy Partridge, he wrote "You Bring the Summer," I believe, and that is he's from Ecstasy, XTC, a great rock and roll band from the 80s. They're basically an alternative band. They're known for their album Skylarking, produced by Todd Rundgren, and Drums and Wires that had Making Plans for Nigel. That was the jam. Skylarking had Dear God and The Man Who Sailed Around the Soul. Yeah. And so, yeah, some good stuff. Real good stuff.
I really liked She Makes Me Laugh.
Do you really?
I do. And you were right about You Bring the Summer, Andy Partridge.
Yeah.
Good Times was one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great way to start the album.
Yes.
I put it on, not knowing what to expect.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, okay. And it really just kind of...
Yeah.
It gave me just a great taste in my mouth for the rest of it, and I was excited to hear the rest of it, and it didn't disappoint at all.
Good.
It didn't go downhill.
Good. She Makes Me Laugh. Who wrote that one again? I forget.
That was Rivers Cuomo.
Oh, from Weezer.
Yeah.
Bite my tongue. Sorry, Rivers. Yeah, that is a good song. So yeah, and apparently he's from the same hometown as Peter Tork.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's very cool.
Must be something in the water there.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, good stuff. We recommend both records. This has been a great music podcast review. So hope you guys enjoyed it. No, we did. It's time to say goodbye again.
Well, thanks for listening. You can find us at gsmcpodcast.com, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. And don't forget to like us and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Golden State Media Concepts. Now, thanks for listening, guys.
I'm Captain Keith.
I'm Lieutenant Mariano.
And we'll see you somewhere out in space.